tuned in to Inside Lowell. Inside Lowell podcast brought to you in part by Washington Savings Bank, serving the greater Lowell community for over 130 years. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. Unicare, offering a variety of plans for people insured under the GIC. At Unicare, your health is their top priority. Reverie 73, Lowell's #1 cannabis shop. Elevate your cannabis experience at Reverie 73. Hafner's, heating and cooling homes and businesses for nearly a century. Become a part of the Hafner's family. It kicks. Boston North Company, offering a wide variety of business solutions to help restaurant and retail clients save money. Boston North. And by Mahoney Oil Company, providing warmth and protection to families in Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. That's Mahoney Oil. And now, time for another Inside Lowell podcast. Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place.
Buongiorno, and welcome to the Grapefully Yours Wine Podcast. I am Jim Campanini, co-host of the podcast, and this is my other co-host,
Good morning,
Mike Pigeon, the wine butler. And we're coming to you from this morning at the InsideLowell.com studios in downtown Lowell. Our producer is the owner of the station, Teddy Panos. Do I call it a digital station or what do we?
Digital website.
Digital website, Teddy Panos. And how you doing, Teddy? All right?
Fantastic.
Good,
Doing
good.
well. How about you guys?
Very nice, yes. I don't like these steel gray days, Mike. You know, I'm a sunshine type guy, you know?
Yep.
So I look at it, but I know it's going to clear up, isn't it? Is it going to clear up today?
It better someday. Oh, I thought you meant ever. It'll clear up at some point.
But the good thing about this weather is that it gives you a reflection on, on the summer. But looking ahead, this is the time when we get into those nice dry reds. The Amaronja, sit by the fire pit. You still can enjoy some of these late season summer wines, but then you look ahead to these nice reds for the winter and stuff. So it's always a nice time, like the changeover, like when you go into the closet, take off your short sleeves, you got your long sleeves on. I got my long sleeves on, right?
Yeah, mornings are cool, but out come the red wines, more of them.
Yeah, it could be the best time of the year right now when there's sunny skies and everything else. So once again, you were right on the Patriots last week. You're what, 6-0 this season, and I'm 1-5.
Yeah, but it's a pretty easy pick. Well, going in, I had that attitude anyway, so we're just following through.
So how many points you going to give me against Buffalo? They're playing Buffalo this week because I'm sticking with the Patriots.
The Patriots, I think, really are angry now at themselves, at everything, and Buffalo's hurting a little bit. But I'd still take Buffalo by 8 points.
8 points.
Yeah.
I want at least 12.5.
No.
But it really doesn't matter anymore. I'm just not going to be able to make my mortgage payment this month because you've been taking all my money.
The Jets
stuff.
eat the
$5 is too much a week.
The Jets beat the Eagles. I can't give you points on Buffalo when they're hurting when those things happen.
Yeah. I know. All right, let's get into the wine.
Let's get into some wine.
So when I talk about late season wine, most people think that rosé is just a summer wine. No, the rosés that are coming out of France, Spain, Portugal, even Italy, and the United States now, they're making these wines with the more structure in the fermentation process. So it's adding more shelf life. These wines can last maybe up to 2 years, if you keep them refrigerated in a cool spot. Heck, I got a nice Drew Bledsoe rosé from 2020. I still got 2 bottles left from a case that I bought, just exceptional. So now is the time to think about, value and stocking up on some of these wines because, they're great holiday wines, these rosés, okay? Especially the Prosecco rosé that they now make in Italy. So shopping last week, I saw one that caught my eye. And I've always been a big fan of, Kim Crawford wines from New Zealand. So I came across Kim Crawford wine. Now, Kim Crawford is the husband. Kim is the husband of the famous New Zealand couple that started Kim Crawford Wines. They sold the winery for an enormous sum to Constellation Brands like about 8 years ago. And then they started their own new company. They had a 2-year non-compete, and then they started Love Block, which is a very, very good rosé right now. And they also have other wines with that. But Kim Crawford, made by Constellation, it's held its quality and it's held its value. They've built up the volume. But I just wanted to show you this one because it really caught my eye. This is the new Kim Crawford, but notice this. It's called Illuminate now, okay? Kim Crawford, but it's calories, 70 calories per serving. Now, most glasses of wine have about 240 calories. That's a 5-ounce glass of wine, okay? So this is 70 calories. I just want you to taste it because I found it very, very, and I know you don't like rosé, but this wine costs $12.99 right now. It used to sell for around $15 a bottle, $16, but right now, late season, it's going off the shelves. I bought a couple of bottles because it's only 7% alcohol. This is a great wine to serve as an aperitif before, Thanksgiving or a Christmas holiday meal. It's a great color. You look at it, it's got a darker edge to it than those pale pink rosés that come from Provence.
Doesn't have a darker edge, quite a bit. A bit, yeah.
What do you think? It's not like a traditional rosé. It's got a fuller mouthfeel.
Yes, I thought it was going to be sweeter even, but it's not.
It's dry.
It's dry, but it's still not dry, but it's drier, than a rose. Yeah, it's
and it's got that
very light
berry fruit. Yes,
very light flavor.
Yeah, and berry fruit. And if you look at it in the glass, I mean, it tingles your tongue. There isn't any bubbles. It's not a sparkling wine. But yet it does give you that nice, refreshing tingle on your mouth.
It almost tastes like a non-alcoholic wine. It's so...
Well, it is low alcohol, 7%.
It's a bland tastiness, like it's very subtle, very low key.
Low key, but it does have that fruitiness. It's got a nice fruit.
Just enough.
It's got a nice fruit flavor.
Just enough.
So I don't know where you come with that bland thing.
It's not exciting. It's bland may be over. But
Mr. Siskel, I disagree. Okay, yeah. I think it's got a nice energy with it. It's got a nice berry component.
Yeah. There's no effervescence because it doesn't have the bubbles, and it's not. But it's a tasty low key wine.
And for $12.99 in a low calorie, rosé, only 70 calories per serving, and 7% alcohol. I mean, that's a nice one for the holidays. Your guests will really enjoy it. You can serve this with appetizers, and it'll be a fine component with your holiday parties. Or any occasion, really, because it is refreshing. So it's $12.99 right now in some local wine stores, and including New Hampshire. So get it while it's still available, because this is the 2021, and it's probably going to be sold out soon. Okay, now why don't you introduce us to the second wine that we have today that we're going to talk about, and speak to why it's here, because the feature in the Wine Spectator.
Yeah, asked me to speak about it. I never heard of the wine before. It's Bonanza until Wine Spectator come out, and it did a really, really great interview / story on the Wagner family, who has been running a winery out there for many, many years, founded by the old man, Charlie.
Yes.
And then he had a son.
What's the name of the winery? It's one of the most
Camus.
famous. That's right.
Camus.
Most famous in Napa Valley,
Yeah.
if not now the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're doing better than quite well. And
Yeah.
one of the sons left to found his own winery. It's
Joe Wagner, that was the son.
Yeah.
He founded
Copper.
Maomi.
Yeah.
The Pinot Noir that took off. He sold that to Constellation Brands for $150 million. And he had the non-compete.
Yeah.
And then for 2 years, and then the interesting thing about that article is Constellation has quadrupled the volume of sales for the Maomi. There are over 200,000 cases. Yeah. It still remains popular.
And Camus is an expensive wine, but you found this Bonanza that they make, and it's a Cabernet, and it retails for, we got it at $18.99 over at Market Basket's new facility, and we're going to give it a try.
So, just to back up a little, the Camus Winery started by Charlie Wagner, okay? And Charlie Wagner was a farmer, okay, with his wife. They bought 55 acres of land way back in the, I think it was the 50s, and they were just farmers, and prunes was the big fruit back then. They didn't even have wine. I mean, in Napa Valley, people made their own wine, and that's how the Wagner family, the son Chuck was 19 years old, and the father Charlie went to him and said, "Hey, Charlie had been making his own wine and just giving it to friends, and his friends kept telling him, "Hey, you make really good wine. You should make it commercially." Well, he was a farmer, and then one day he told his son Charlie, he says, "I want to start a commercial winery. You're either in with us or out. If you're not going to join in with me," he says, "your mother and I are selling everything and moving to Australia."
And he jumped right in.
Yeah, and Charlie was 19 years old, running a tractor, going to school, high school and stuff. And he says, "Dad, I'm in with you." So he learned the business from his father firsthand. They started together. They built their own little winery, okay, where they can produce it. The first vintage, 1972, they had like 250 cases that they sold for $4.50 a bottle, okay, growing their own grapes and everything. I mean, it's a great story in Wine Spectator. But Chuck Wagner, right now, his Camus Cabernet, which is, always rated highly, very well acclaimed. You can get it between $75 and $100 a bottle. The special selection is their top of the wine. They make less of it, and it probably costs a little more. But he's always been cautious and a value-oriented guy. He knows how hard it is for farmers to make a living and to grow grapes and to make their own wine. But he's also identified with the consumer. Like you were telling me, but what did he think about some of these prices for Cabernet?
Yeah, he's too much money. He said, but for each his own, if they want to charge that, let them. He said, but I'm not going up there. So, and he still has a wine very comparable to.
Yeah, because if you read the interview that's in Wine Spectator, they've also have a report on California Cabernet wines. They do it annually, and they're great wines, but you're going to spend $450 for a bottle of Cabernet. Even $150 seems a bit overpriced to get a 93-point wine. And he understands that. Not everybody is either a collector or could afford those prices. So, and he also knows that even though he loves Napa Valley and considers it one of the best places to produce Cabernet Sauvignon, he identifies with vintners outside of Napa Valley. He says there are some great vineyards in California that don't get the respect or the attention that they deserve. So several years ago, I think it was 8 years ago, because when I was writing my column, I was still working for the Boston Herald and the Lowell Sun. I was writing my column. I wrote about this when it first came out. It appeared in both the newspapers. So he created Bonanza, just like the famous TV show with Lorne Green. But he took grapes. He bought grapes from people he considered were really good quality grape growers. So it's not from Napa Valley alone. There might be some Napa grapes in there, but it's a minority. He selects vineyards from all around California, because you can see on the bottle, California Cabernet Sauvignon. And it allows him to make a high quality wine, okay, for an affordable price. The wine is always rated, very good, very respectable wine. It's not Caymus. It's not a 95, 96 point wine, but it's an easy drinking, everyday wine that is very, very enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable.
We'll see how it is. Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to have a little, and and this would be a great one to have in the house all times, a couple of bottles of it. Well, let's taste it, and then we'll talk about something.
It's a dark. It's a dark one.
Take the very nice aroma and stuff. Oh, that's very concentrated, very intense. A lot of it just smells jammy. It just smells jammy.
Very nice. Nice cab. Full-bodied.
Full-bodied cab. And the key to this for me, he really doesn't give much away on this, but it's got the nice, besides the jammy fruit, it's very big on the black fruits, okay, black currant and stuff. But you can taste a little vanilla in there, a little mocha creamy. Good choice of words, very creamy.
Yep.
So
very nice.
This comes from some toasted barrels and stuff. They put a nice flavor on it, but it's dry. It ends nice and dry. And I tell you, for $18, it is a true Cabernet, and it's from California Appalachians. And boy, it's something you can.
It's a bonanza.
It's a bonanza, and it's the creation of the owner, Chuck Wagner. He's got now. Joe has left to form his own company, Copper Cane. So he's the only one of the children who has left the company, but they have a great relationship, says it in the interview. But he's got Charlie Jr. working with him, and
the daughters.
The daughter does the Imolo brand. You've seen that.
Yeah,
Imolo. They've got a great Sauvignon Blanc, a Chardonnay. Charlie does the Mer Soleil brand. MER, capital SOLEIL, Mer Soleil. It's a little premium priced, okay, so it's probably the $30 range, okay, for that thing. But they all work together out of the Caymus, the Caymus winery, and they do very well. And they're just happy, they're not into. Yes, they like to grow their production a little, but as Chuck Wagner says, they're very cautious. They can read the tea leaves. They don't. He said it's good to make a profit, and everybody wants to make a profit, but you don't have to kill it. He said, and so they put out good wines. They want to concentrate on putting out good wines for the public that they love and that they enjoy, and they want loyal customers. And I tell you, if you taste this Bonanza, you might go on to try those other wines, and then you get a bottle of Caymus because it does go on sale. I know that the Wine Connection puts it on sale.
Yep.
The New Hampshire liquor stores. Sam Messina's had Caymus on sale for like $70 sometimes, as low as $70 a bottle, and it's good to pick up one or two for a special occasion. But I think you really like this Bonanza, huh?
Yeah, it's under 20, and a lot of people are going to give it a try because it's one of Chuck's wines. Yeah. And I think they'll be pleased with it. It's a good wine.
Good one to stock up for the winter. Now, I'm going to show you the bottle, It's only 13.5% alcohol. What is missing on the bottle? Take a good look at the bottle.
Uh-huh.
What is missing on the bottle? That
Well, it has the back. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're looking at alcohol
what
content,
important
it's
thing? What important thing? When you look at a bottle of a wine, you check what? Not only what kind of grape is in it, the name, the alcohol, but
the name, the alcohol,
yeah,
and okay,
the vintage.
the vintage. That's
You'll never find a vintage year on a Bonanza bottle, and there's a reason for that.
well, I know when that wine was. Well, there's it down in front. It says 2023, right down here. But that wouldn't be the.
that's the year it's bottled, but Bonanza is a non-vintage wine. Okay, he produced it in 2023, but it doesn't necessarily. Those grapes came from that year. So he buys grapes and he stores them and he mixes them, and they select the formula for it every year. But he buys from the same producers, so he knows that the quality is going to be there. But he mixes and matches from different appellations, and it could be a couple of different vintages, almost like making a cuvee, like they do champagne and stuff. So it's very, very interesting. Yeah, and that's a store stamp on
Okay,
there.
I didn't. Oh, is that what it is?
2023. Yeah, there's no winery vintage stamp on there. So it's a great day-to-day wine. Mike paid $18 for it, and it's a great value. So take a look at it. One other thing, I'm completing a column on wines you want to buy now. Okay, there's a list of about 10 wines I focus on. Bonanza is one of them. That there's a couple of whites, and these are, and then some reds that you might consider for your winter months and stuff. And good pricing on them, but also top quality all the way through. So,
And where is that list going to show up?
that's going to be Teddy. I'll send it to Teddy. It'll be published on InsideLowell.com. It'll also be published on the WineNovice.com website. So, and then we'll Facebook it and stuff like that. So we'll have that out. So, anything to add?
No, another good wine to try, and boy, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of, but Camus, quite a brand.
Yes,
quite a brand.
very, very good. So, okay,
Here we go.
until
the next
Until the next-
Watch.
until the next show, may the wine be with you.